All right, good morning.
Morning.
The Committee on Parole is called to order. Today is Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. It's 8:53 a.m. My name is Cheryl Renatza, serving as chairman of today's parole panel. Colleagues on the panel are Mrs. Stapleton to my left, Mrs. Ledoux to my right. We are seated at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge. And for the record, I'd like to ask staff here to please introduce yourself for the record.
Jasmine Thompson.
Sherelle. And our remote location initially this morning is at Ascension Parish Jail. Good morning. Are you Mr. Converse?
Ma'am, I'm Milligan Solomon.
Oh, Mr. Solomon. Okay. Let me get to the right page. Hang on just a second. And is there any staff, Mr. Solomon, in the room with you?
Yes, ma'am.
So could I get the staff, please, to introduce themselves for the record?
Sergeant Bourgeois, ma'am.
All right, Sergeant Bourgeois, thanks for accommodating us this morning. We appreciate your assistance.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Solomon, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
My name is Milligan Solomon, DOC number 471937.
All right, Mr. Solomon, do you have a parole revocation questionnaire there with you?
No, ma'am.
We're gonna put it up on the screen for you. I need you to verify if you signed that piece of paper. So stand by. We're gonna put it up on the TV screen for you, or the computer screen.
Unit 3.
All right, sir. Do you recognize that form?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it went away. Was that your signature in April of this year at the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on the information contained in that questionnaire, you're not eligible for appointed counsel. Is that your understanding also?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're ready to proceed this morning with a revocation decision?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to read the allegations against you, after which I'm going to ask you to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. And then we'll have a conversation. Your case has been assigned to Mrs. Stapleton, so she'll take the lead on asking your questions in response to your plea. Joining us by Zoom this morning, I want to acknowledge we have Tanika Berryman. She's asked to speak, and when we finish with our interview, we'll ask for her input. Okay, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Solomon, you're accused of violating the conditions of your parole, specifically condition number 4. You were arrested on April 14, 2023 by the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office for aggravated battery with a dangerous weapon and misdemeanor domestic abuse battery. On October 16th, the charges were now crossed. How do you plead to violating condition number 4?
I plead not guilty.
Okay. Another instance of condition number 4, which reads, you were arrested while incarcerated on June 22nd, 2023 for introduction of contraband into a penal institution. Also on September 18, 2023, aggravated second-degree battery. On April 15, 2024, the introduction of contraband was reduced to a lesser offense, and you pled guilty to criminal mischief and given 3 months parish jail with credit for time served. And on December 14, 2023, the second-degree battery was now crossed. So how do you plead to violating that instance of condition number 4?
I plead not guilty to the second-degree aggravated battery because I wasn't supposed to have been charged with that. The jail requested that the DA.
So wait, hold on. So you plead not guilty to that aspect with a statement. We're going to take your statement in a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
I get finished with the pleas first. And what about the contraband?
I plead guilty.
All right. So as I said, your case has been assigned to Mrs. Stapleton. Would you answer her questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Well, we'll go ahead with your statements about your rule violation. You plead not guilty to the first one. which was you were arrested on 4/14/23 by Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office, aggravated battery of dangerous weapon, and domestic abuse battery. So what's going on there?
Well, the allegation that was made against me was all false. My lawyer had a paid attorney that proven facts that Miss Latasha Antoine just stated those allegations to put me incarcerated because she was with me on my previous incarceration. So she knew how to get me back incarceration because she felt that I was cheating with her with Mrs. Berriman. So she made all the allegations to put me back incarcerated.
Well, that's very interesting because she actually ended up in the hospital and they took pictures. Both eyes and busted the top and bottom of her lip that she was struck by you. And she was at Provost Hospital and the medical staff actually called, not her to begin with, because that's by law if they think that there's domestic violence. So they involved the sheriff's office. And at that time, she refused to give any verbal statements. But it was later that she did talk about it. And that's when there was another altercation. And she said that you drove by her with a car and hit her with the car and circled around her and drug her down the street on the right side. And she ended up with bruises, scratchings, and scrapes on her right side. And you exited the vehicle and began hitting her. That also, she ended up in the hospital. So what about that?
Ma'am, that's never occurred. This female is driving way from Orleans Parish to come to Ascension Parish. If I drug you, how can I drug you when I'm on 100 and something pounds? You 200 and something pounds. It's impossible for me to even drag you. For one, my lawyer proved that could never even happen.
That based on photographs, facts, and Latasha's written and verbal statement and an arrest warrant that was submitted from Milligan Solomon for the following charges: aggravated battery, domestic abuse battery. So that's two separate occasions that the hospital took pictures of.
Yeah, one of the accidents that she is claiming that this happened on, it could never happen when I was at work. I could never harm you when I'm on the clock at work.
How did they charge you with it? I mean, you said you had an attorney, so how did you get charged?
Because my lawyer proved the fact that the allegation that was made was false. Plus, on top of that, she was contacting the DA, Craig Stewart, and telling him that I didn't do it, that she had lied to put me in here. But my lawyer was already proving facts that I can't harm you on these dates when I'm at work. I'm on the clock. I work for Donaldsonville Body and Glass. I was on the clock. I could never harm you. Then you driving from Orleans Parish that come to Ascension Parish and go straight to the hospital. You never been in contact with me personally. You driving 60 miles to come to state these allegations.
So the only thing you plead guilty to as far as your rule violation, since you were arrested on 4/14/23, aggravated battery with a dangerous weapon, domestic abuse battery, would that have been the car, the aggravated battery with a dangerous weapon?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that
Yes, ma'am.
okay? And you only plead guilty to the lesser charge, which that's a plea bargain, of criminal mischief for the contraband in the prison.
Yes, ma'am. I had got caught with some,
Second-degree battery, you plead guilty to criminal mischief. That's all you plead guilty to.
yes, ma'am. I had got caught with some cigarettes and a lighter, and they said I was supposed to have it. I know I was in the wrong for having the cigarettes and lighter, and I pled guilty to criminal mischief. The aggravated second-degree battery, I was never supposed to have been charged with it. The jail did an investigation. The warden here, Sean Winchester, wrote the DA and let them know that I didn't have nothing to do with that. I was never involved. So they never even processed that charge. So they were supposed to erase that from my criminal history because I was never supposed to have been booked on that.
Well, the woman was definitely hurt, and she definitely had the bruises and the busted lip and the eyes and all of those things. So I don't have any further questions.
So, Mr. Milligan, did you have a technical violation for positive drug use in December of 2022?
Or drug use?
So in 12/2 of 2022, you had a positive drug test for alcohol use or admission. And so they reprimanded you. They verbally reprimanded you in 12/2 of 2022. You had a positive test for marijuana.
No, ma'am, that never occurred, ma'am. I got incarcerated September the 1st of 22. That I never took a drug test, anything like that. That I don't know what you're talking about right there, ma'am.
23, I got one of my painters coming back.
All right, Mr. Solomon, it says that you admitted to using marijuana to officer.
To what officer? I don't recall that, ma'am. If I recall it, I would take accountability for my action.
And December 2nd, 2022. Now, you were paroled in September 1st of 2022. Is that
Yes,
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything you want to say to us, sir, Mr. Solomon, before we reach a decision?
Yes, ma'am. I would like for y'all to look into the matter that I really never did nothing. I did everything I was supposed to do with my parole officer. I never took a drug test. Everything that's going on never happened. Every time the police was called, I'm the one that called the police. I would feel for my life. I have a video that I had sent to y'all showing that I had jumped out of a moving vehicle one night dealing with Natasha Antoine. I never laid hands on this person. I never. My life was always in danger. I'm the one.
Not have that video.
Ma'am.
Not have that video.
Well, Tamika Barrowman was supposed to send it to y'all along.
She's here. Well, let us speak to her now, and we'll come back to you. Okay, Ms. Berryman, is there something you'd like to say to us?
On mute. Hello?
Can hear you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I would like to say that indeed this case, the alleged allegations of Miss Antoine, all of them was alleged because of what she thought initially, and it was all boiling down to me. You know, she made multiple threats against me online, which was paperwork that I submitted to the parole supervisor that he was supposed to send over, because I'm the one who sent over the video via email, so I'm not sure if it actually went through. But I mean, Natasha was stalking. She ended up coming to my house, pulling up in my driveway one day. That's the night that he's speaking of with the video. You know, I just told him to get her from in front of the door, because I'm really curious as to how you even found out where I live at, being that I'm way in Ascension Parish and you're way in Orleans Parish. I know that a person who's willing to drive over 60 miles could very well be a dangerous person, because you sat there and you contemplated and you really thought out this thought process about, you know, what type of harm that you're going to try to do. Because Miss Antoine, prior to him getting arrested in April, I mean, we found that out that he even had a warrant is because she came in the yard to flatten his tires on his truck and she stole his license plate, which the police
File a
pinged.
police report? Did you
Yes,
file
I
a
filed a police report.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, I'm sorry. But a police report was filed on that incident. So now it's like you're playing around the house when people are sleeping, you know. I'm not expecting, like, I live in a quiet neighborhood, you know. It's not any of that going on. But she also, prior to that, she also wind up calling a parole officer prior to, because they ended up coming to my job. They went to Mr. Solomon's job, they came to my job, and they also talked to his mom. And I'm guessing she figured once this didn't work out, I don't know what her motives or anything were. You know, a month later, all of this is popping up, you know. And I also submitted like all the stuff she was posting on Facebook, threatening me, threatening him, saying how she was going to basically do this, do that, do this, that, and the third, you know, how she wanted to sue insurance companies and all type of stuff, you know. She also admitted how she popped drugs and how she was going to take a ride down to Ascension Parish again to try to cause harm, you know. So this what led to me getting the protective order against her, because she's a very manipulative, malicious person, and I don't trust her at all. You know, Mr. Solomon was doing well. He had a job, just got a car, you know, staying out the way up until all of this happened because she was hurt.
Clarify, you said that you placed a protective order against the lady?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
When was the executive, the restraining or protective order? Do you remember?
It was sometime last year in June. It's almost time for me to redo it. I can't remember if it was like June 10th or something like that.
That was after this arrest, right?
Ma'am?
It was after he was arrested.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for your input. Mr. Solomon, you want to complete your statement, or were you done? Were you done?
No, man, I would like to see that everything that Tanika is saying is basically like she premeditated me coming back to jail, because she posted on Facebook first before she actually done anything that she have done. I never once did anything to this female, not whatsoever. She was mad. I was with her when I got out of incarcerated, but things ain't went how it was supposed to. And me and Tanika went to getting involved, and then she found out about that, and she just went into a rage, just went to doing all types of things, cutting my tires up on my vehicle, stealing my license
Put
plate.
your hands on her and cause her to have a busted lip and bruises?
That never occurred in Ascension Parish at all. She drove from
All right. We've already been through that.
I'd like to go into executive session.
We have a motion and second for executive session. Can you call the roll?
Sarah Knox.
Yes.
Gary Lee.
Yes.
Karen Payton.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Solomon, we'll be in executive session for just a few moments to discuss confidential matters. We'll be right back. Solomon, I had one question. We're still in executive session, but I wanted to clarify something. I think for your preliminary hearing, did you have retained counsel? Did you have a lawyer?
No, ma'am, I didn't have a lawyer.
Okay, because I don't know why, but somehow or another, I made a note on my notes for today that you may have hired a lawyer. You didn't?
I had hired one, but they had an important trial going on, so they couldn't meet.
They couldn't be here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you rather wait till that your lawyer could be here? I should have asked you this at the beginning and I didn't. Or you want to go ahead and go on? We're still in our deliberations, but I wanted just to clarify that with you.
I rather gird on because I told my lawyer I think I'll be all right. That y'all will see that I'm.
All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and proceed. We'll come back in regular session in just a moment. All right, Mr. Solomon, I apologize for the delay. We had to call another staff member down to get some confidential information. So I wanted just to, for the record, formally on the record, we are back in session. It's 9:37 a.m. We're in regular session. And I want to go over what I came to you with when we were in executive session, when I asked you about your retained counsel, your lawyer. You told me that you did hire a lawyer for today for the revocation hearing. Is that correct? Y'all are still on mute. Can you get them to unmute it?
Yes, ma'am.
So let me repeat the question so we be sure we're clear. So you did hire an attorney for today.
Yes, ma'am.
And where is he today?
She said she had trial in Baton Rouge, I think. I'm not
So
too
she-
sure.
Not available. So I'm going to ask you again, do you want to go ahead and proceed without the lawyer today, or do you want to wait until the lawyer can be present?
I'll go ahead on and proceed.
Are you ready to proceed without your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we are ready for a revocation decision. And I will vote first, Mr. Solomon. You pled guilty to the criminal mischief for having the contraband in the prison. Based on that information, my vote today, sir, is going to be to revoke your parole. Mrs. Stapleton.
I agree to revoke.
Ms. Lee.
And I'll also vote to revoke.
And Mr. Solomon, your parole today is being revoked. You will have the opportunity to apply for another parole hearing. And we will send you the information on how and when you'll be able to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you.